Folks, it is with a profound sense of sadness and loss that I come before you today to announce that Jeffrey Toobin will no longer be working at CNN. Now, I know that in the wake of his 2020 scandal in which he was caught masturbating during a work Zoom call, every talking head such as myself is going to take the opportunity to swoop down on this story and make as many jokes at the man's expense as they possibly can. I, however, am above such nonsense. I, as you well know, have a certain level of journalistic integrity, which prevents me from picking the low-hanging fruit, no matter how tempting it might be. So we're not going to make reference in this monologue to things like the five-finger shuffle, spanking the monkey, the beating of the meat, the waxing the carrot, burping the worm, badgering the witness, celebrating Palm Sunday, polishing the bishop, jerking the gherkin, beef stroganoff, or the bearing of hairy palms. We will not engage whilst we celebrate this legal analyst's 20-year career at one of the nation's primary news organizations and saying things like he choked the chicken, he boxed the one-eyed champ, he painted the pickle, or he flicked the bean, because again, as I said, I'm above that kind of nonsense. Now, according to the rustlings around the water cooler and the Radar Online, Toobin is leaving because he's not getting the attention he used to get as an analyst and is being passed over by other colleagues for major stories. Most recently, this happened with the FBI raid of Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago, and apparently he's had enough. Toobin himself just tweeted out that he was leaving, and that it was great to spend his last day at CNN hanging out with his pals Wolf Blitzer, Anderson Cooper, and Don Lemon. Name drop. Now, one might also speculate that, like a rat sensing the imminent sinking of the ship upon which he's sailing, Toobin is just making what surely might be the smart move of bailing. We've all taken notice of the tremendous dip in ratings CNN has weathered of late, and I think we all laughed collectively when CNN Plus, and it pretty much ended up having about as many viewers as the Zoom call, where all Toobin's colleagues were treated to the sight of him doing a little bit of the old wax on, wax off. That's a joke, in case you were wondering, folks, that I will not be making in this monologue. So if you came here to listen to me talking about Toobin's ghostwriting, a new kind of whip, you've come to the wrong place. Try listening to Glenn Beck for that filthy stuff. He tells dirty jokes on his program all the time. Oh, Glenn, we're praying for you. Now, as much as I like to believe that Toobin is making the smart move by leaving CNN because he senses that it's about to go down in flames, let's be real honest here for just a second. He's going because he's getting passed up. And he's probably getting passed up, at least in part because he couldn't keep his wiener in his pants until he double-checked that all the browser tabs unrelated to big, black, beautiful mamas or whatever he was watching, they weren't closed. A scandal like that will stick to you like, well, it'll stick to you. Anyway, we bid you a fond farewell, Jeffrey Toobin. Hopefully in your next iteration as a serious person, you'll focus on foresight over foreskin, which is, again, folk, a joke that I'm not going to make in this monologue. And hey, the silver lining for Toobin is that at long last, he actually got to finish.
Wow. I am enlightened.
Are you?
There were some sayings there that I hadn't heard yet.
Yeah.
So I feel like I learned something today. You've educated me, Chad.
You're welcome.
That's what I come here for.
I'm quite good at the synonyms and the descriptive phrases.
Yeah.
You don't have to quarantine or test to stay in school. The CDC has now revealed that I've been right all along.
Does that make you really mad or really happy?
It pisses me off.
Yeah.